Plaintiff Pamela Adams was married to the defendant, but she says the marriage was a nightmare because his daughters were so out of control that they not only called her names, but they also spit on her. Pamela's suing her ex-husband today for an escrow check. Defendant Thomas Adams says after he married Pamela, she became jealous and vindictive. And if he wasn't within eyesight of her, she assumed he was cheating. Thomas denies owing Pamela for an escrow check because he insists the check was mailed to him.
Tell me what happened.
Being married to this man was a complete nightmare. Not only was I married to him, I was married to his children and his ex-wife. We first met at a divorce party. I mean, can you believe that? A divorce party? But we met there and we were sitting by the bonfire.
Was he married when you met him?
No, it was his divorce party.
Oh, it was his divorce party.
Yes.
I bet you was a bunch of women there, huh? They said, he's eligible, y'all. Who gave the party? Did he give his own party or his buddy sponsored it?
He gave his own party.
All right.
That's not true, Your Honor. My friends gave it for me.
All right. Doubled as a recruitment
Absolutely.
meeting?
Absolutely.
Did you all have to stand up against the wall or something? And he picked, like the dating game or something? Or he just floated around? I'm interested in how it goes. I'm sure Doyle is too, because he keeps flirting around these ladies, and then he's going to be divorced. He's going to have a divorce party himself.
No, in fact, I wanted to leave, but my friend talked me into staying.
Okay, but how many ladies there?
Oh, there was lots.
How many men?
There was over 100 people there.
So it's just like a regular party. That's why people are coming?
Yeah, it was a big bonfire, yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, we were sitting by the bonfire, and he asked me if he could kiss me. And I said, okay. So
when had the divorce? When had the ink dried? Had the ink dried on the divorce before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we were sitting there and he kissed me. He leaned over and kissed me by the bonfire. And the next thing I know, his head's hitting my head. His daughter, Rachel, who's sitting there, came up there and smacked him in the head, and his head hit my head. So I should have ran the other way, but I didn't. I ended up marrying the man. And his daughters lived with us, and it was a complete nightmare.
Why?
They had no rules, regulations to live by. They did what they want, no chores.
That's not true, Your Honor.
How old were they?
They were about 13 and 17, I think, at the time.
Okay.
The oldest daughter, Rachel, she didn't have it. Well, she had multiple jobs, but she got fired for stealing. She was always in trouble with alcohol and marijuana.
What?
And she brought it into the house. And then he had a 13-year-old that we would go to parties with, and he would give the 13-year-old would bring friends with her to the party, and he would give them alcohol.
That's not true. That is not true, Your Honor.
And so it was constant turmoil the whole time because I had rules and regulations and they had none. They didn't have to listen.
What would he say to you? What would he say to you?
They would call me the word, spit on me, and he said, well, if you deserve it, you know, that's your
I
problem.
don't believe that.
All rise. This court is now in session.
If you're in Chicago and would like to attend a taping of the Judge Mathis Show, call us at 1-866-3-MATHIS. Plaintiff Pamela Adams says being married to the defendant was a nightmare because his daughters were so out of control that they not only called her names, but they also spit on her.
Sorry, let me hear from you.
You know, before I married her, I thought she was a pretty nice person, but after I married her, it turned into a Jekyll and Hyde type
How so?
situation. She just turned into a different person. She was jealous, vindictive. I couldn't go fishing with my friends. I couldn't go to a card game. If I wasn't with her where she could see me, I was obviously doing something wrong. I was obviously with another woman.
The reason I was
Maybe she misinterpreted when you said you were going fishing.
There was a lot of sex, but you know, even that wasn't that good.
A lot
Your Honor.
of intimacy.
That was not true.
And even that wasn't that good.
She said that wasn't true.
What wasn't it?
The intimacy or...
Even that wasn't that good.
All right.
But
she says it wasn't true.
The
She said it
thing that
didn't
she's
happen.
saying about my daughter,
You said it wasn't any good. She said it was so bad that she don't even remember it happening.
Everybody's
That's
entitled
worse
to their
than
opinion.
what you say it was. Go ahead.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I never gave my kids alcohol when they were that young, when they were kids. We went to watch my friends play, their bands play and stuff. Yeah, we did that a lot.
Why did they bump heads with your wife, ex-wife now?
They just could not get along with
Why?
each other.
You don't know?
She was jealous of the attention I gave my kids. I always had a good relationship with my two daughters. I wanted to spend time with them.
Mm-hmm.
If I spent time with my daughters, or if I spent money on my daughters, in her opinion, that was money that should have been spent on her, time that should have been spent with her.
May I interrupt?
Yeah.
The money he was spending on them was getting him out of jail, getting his oldest daughter out of jail because she's had multiple DWIs and she's been in trouble with drugs and on probation.
No, I have
Okay.
not.
And the
That's not
reason
true.
I was
That is
jealous,
true. I got her out of jail once, yes.
and the reason I was jealous, in '04 I acquired a little disabled child, grandbaby, that's mine that I still have. And Rachel had gotten a DWI and she was in jail. And I didn't want her coming back and having the marijuana in the house and the alcohol and the boys. And so I had called the police on them at one time. And the police came out there and they arrested her and took her to jail.
When was
And
this?
No, they didn't.
Okay, what does this have to do with
No, they didn't.
jealousy? You said that
Because
was the reason you were
because
jealous.
When she was arrested, he told Rachel, I'll come and get you out of jail. And then he did not come home that night. He told me he spent
Okay.
the night in a hotel. I found out he was with his ex-wife.
That's what you mean. Okay. All right. And we're going to get to this escrow check you're suing him for, but one last response from you.
She got arrested one time for a DWI. That's true. She went to jail. I went and bailed her out.
That was the only time?
That's true, yes.
All right.
And the pot that was in the house belonged to her kids, not mine.
Good
No,
enough.
it came
Now,
out her
all
way.
right, ma'am. That were your children disrespecting and spitting on her?
No.
Now let's move on to the escrow check. How does he owe you $1,261?
I filed for divorce on the 28th, January 28th of '09. We got divorced 11/3 of '09. I had 3 years to refinance my house because his name was on the loan. I was just on the title, so I had to refinance.
That's what the court ordered?
Yes. And then, so I refinanced in September of 10. Then he signed a satisfaction release of judgment at the end of September of 10. And then he had called the Bank of America, who he had the loan through, and had all the paperwork sent to him, along with the escrow check, which I have evidence here showing the
Let's see it,
minus
please.
$1,260.
I didn't call them about anything.
And it was sent to him, and it was only made to Thomas Adams because he was the only one on the loan.
Gotcha. Sir?
To begin with, I didn't call Bank of America about anything. The loan was in my name, the original loan.
And here's the satisfaction
She-
of release here is evidence.
She was ordered to take over the indebtedness against the real estate. That's what she did. There happened to be an escrow surplus in my loan, so they sent it to me. I mean,
No. Did you sign a document saying she has satisfied the judgment?
I did.
All right. And therefore,
She was
as of September 2010, she owed you nothing. Right?
right. She didn't owe me anything.
Okay. And the money you received from Bank of America,
Yeah.
it was pursuant to the judgment?
It was an escrow surplus that was
That was
contained
due you?
in my loan.
It was due you?
Yes.
Plaintiff Pamela Adams says being married to the defendant was a nightmare because his daughters were so out of control that they not only called her names, but they also spit on her.
And this money was for what purpose? Why did the bank give you money?
It was a surplus in the escrow account.
And
of the loan.
were you owed that?
Well, it was in the loan, and it
Were
was
you
my loan.
owed that?
From my point of view, yes, I
From
was.
your point of view.
Yes, I
But
was.
from the bank's point of view and the judge's order, You were not owed that. You had absolutely no more interest in the home.
Well, they sent the check to me.
Okay,
and
you
I
should have
didn't ask them
returned
to.
it. Honest people, when they get a check erroneously, they send it back.
I honestly-
All right, I'll tell you this.
I honestly
I'll tell you
believed it was
this. Why
mine.
don't you try that with the IRS?
Well, I honestly.
Yeah, or another federal agency.
Your Honor-
Let them send you some money erroneously, and they ask for their money back. I want you to tell them that. I want you to say, well, you sent it to me, so I'm keeping it. Tell them that. And you'll be in jail with your daughters. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
All I can say is I was thanking God when they got divorced, and she doesn't deserve the last name Adams.
I just consider the source.